What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City video. Today we are going to be talking about players that I think should stay and should go at Manchester City in our first team squad for the upcoming summer transfer window. This is a video request, and so if you've got any video requests that you would like to see me do, just let me know in the comments below. But before we crack on with this video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, then make sure you help support my channel by subscribing, pressing that red button, pressing the bell, and putting your push notifications on. My aim is to get to 6,000 subscribers. We're only 21 subscribers away from 5,700, so hopefully we can hit that very soon. So any help towards that would be much appreciated by me. You can find my social media links, which you can find in the description below and popping up on screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. My email also in the description below if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoy this video, and most importantly, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, because there's going to be lots of debate, lots of agreement and disagreements in this video. So let me know who you think should stay and who should go in the current Manchester City squad. And also, on a last note, we're still in the pandemic, we're still in a lockdown, so I hope everyone on this Easter Sunday is staying safe and staying well. So, without further ado, let's crack on with this video. So, we're going to look at the Manchester City first team squad. So, we're going to look at goalkeepers first. And the first player, nice and easy just to knock off our list, Ederson. Of course, he will stay at Manchester City. Now, let's get into a little bit of the meat of the video. So, Claudio Bravo, end of his contract. He will leave Manchester City. What are we going to do then? We've got two options: either sign or keep Zack Steffen, should I say, and he'll be Manchester City's new goalkeeper, or we may sign somebody else. I do not know. I imagine, though, the easier option, what City will go for, we have this in mind when they sign Zack Steffen, is that he'd go out on loan, come back to Manchester City and provide good quality competition for Ederson. So that's what I think will happen. Now, Scott Carson, he's on loan at Manchester City, so he'll leave Manchester City too, so he'll be a go. However, what are City going to do? Are they going to sign another homegrown goalkeeper to replace Scott Carson? Instead, they might dip in the loan market and sign another goalkeeper from somewhere else. Or they could sign Scott Carson on a permanent deal, so don't rule that one out. They may well go along that route. Or they might promote a goalkeeper. I do not know. Or they could keep Aro Muric. Again, I do not know. I think that, speaking of Aro Muric, by the way, I think he'll go. I think he'll be loaned out again. Because we simply haven't got his Nottingham Forest loan move right, and so I think City will try and get it right for the next time round, and he'll head abroad somewhere. I reckon that will be a loan rather than a permanent transfer, but I could be wrong. So that's what I think will happen with the goalkeeper. So let's have a look at the defenders. So Kyle Walker, little bit of controversy. I say a little bit. It's quite very controversial, really, with Kyle Walker. However, he's had on the field for Manchester City, in my opinion, a very good season, and I think he'll stay at Manchester City because of that. John Stones, I said I'd speak about John Stones. I think either him or Nicolas Otamendi will leave. I think City, they're playing it a bit tight with the homegrown quota, so I'm not too sure what they're going to do. If we're not in the Champions League and our ban's going to be upheld, then John Stones, I think, may leave Manchester City for the sake of himself. I think he'll actively look to see if he will leave. I imagine if City get a good offer for him, we'll sell. Rumours going round, Tottenham and Arsenal are also looking at him. If they give us a good offer for him, I imagine he might leave, but I'm not too sure if we will or not, and if we don't, I don't think City will be actively looking to sell him. Like I said, I think it will be either John Stones or Nicolas Otamendi that will leave Manchester City, and so I have to choose one of them to stay in for the homegrown reason. I reckon John Stones might be given one more season at Manchester City. Controversial. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Angelino, I think he'll leave. I would like to see Angelino. I think City will be looking for £25 million. There's rumours going round Leipzig with the current situation going on. They're going to be losing quite a bit of money. They're not going to be able to afford to sign Angelino on a permanent basis. So if that's the case, what are we left with? I think City will look to try and sign a left back for themselves, because Angelino doesn't quite fit into Pep's system. I think he's a solid left wing back, but how many times is City going to play a back three? I'm not too sure. I think he'll be given a loan move with, again, another option to leave Manchester City come the end of the 2020-21 season. Do not rule him out being loaned for a full season at Red Bull Leipzig, which, considering he's getting starts there, would make sense, and it's something I would be keen on. The option to buy, though, if he has a great season, like £25 million, might be a bit short. Maybe I'm looking too far into the future. I do not know, but I do think that Angelino will leave. If City don't sign a left back, though, don't rule out him staying. Aymeric Laporte, very straightforward this. He'll stay at Manchester City. Fernandinho, again, he'll stay at Manchester City because He's just signed a contract with Manchester City, so we're going to have at least another season of Fernandinho. And I've said this before, I'd like to see a player that's been at City for a little while, that's been the heart and spine of our team, to stay at Manchester City right to the end of their career and retire at Manchester City, rather than leave and then spend a couple of seasons elsewhere before retiring. Like Zabaleta and Yaya Toure, these are players that, in my opinion, should have retired at Manchester City, because they peaked right to the very top. Great players that could easily have gone into a coaching setup or some kind of setup with Manchester City. I don't know, but yeah, I'd like to see at least one player, so Fernandinho at least, retire at Manchester City and just show that overall great commitment there, rather than spending a couple of seasons weirdly elsewhere. But yeah, I don't blame players for doing it. They get extra money. But yeah, I'm going for Fernandinho to stay. Benjamin Mendy, I think he'll stay at Manchester City just purely because we're so short on left-backs. I think Mendy will be given, and he'll be told this too, he's got one final season to go and prove himself at Manchester City, just like John Stones. Their futures are on the line, and Benjamin Mendy and John Stones, I'd give them one season and say they're going to be obviously a backup option for Manchester City, but when they get given games, and they will get given games, they need to prove themselves, and they need to take or grab them opportunities with by the scruff of the neck and grab it with both hands and really be impressive, because to say the least, John Stones, he had a great 2017-18 season, but since then filtered out, and so he's got to try and pick himself back up with Benjamin Mendy. Injuries have hampered him, and we spent a lot of money, so we're looking for some kind of return. I'd give them one more season. Maybe I'm being lenient, maybe not. Like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Joao Cancelo, this is an interesting one. I'd like to see him stay at Manchester City, just purely because I don't feel like we've seen the best of Joao Cancelo. I want to see what he can do. He's not had too many games for City. It's forced Kyle Walker to up his game, and that's brilliant, but there's talk of Joao Cancelo leaving and bringing in Nelson Semedo of Barcelona instead as a swap, with City paying some cash, which I'll speak about in another transfer update, but I don't know if that's rumours or not, but if that's just rumours, I imagine that City won't actively, again, like John Stones, be looking to sell. If the right offer comes in, they might sell, but we're not actively looking to just say, you're not needed, good day. Again, one of them. People will disagree, like I said. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Oleksandr Zinchenko, I think he'll stay at Manchester City. Might be pushed further afield. He might be able to play in the top end of the midfield free for Manchester City, possibly. Might be given more defensive duties, I do not know. There will come a point at some point where Oleksandr Zinchenko will want to play in his more natural position, which is playing either further forward at the top of the midfield as an attacking midfielder, or out wide either as a left winger or a right winger. Will that be at Manchester City or not? I don't think that question will come in this transfer window, but that's maybe for something for me to speak about at another time. Nicolas Otamendi, I think, will leave Manchester City, so I think he'll go. Like I said, John Stones stays, Otamendi will go. That's in my opinion. I think we'll be able to get a little bit of money for him. I think we'll be able to get more for John Stones, but I feel like Otamendi, he's been a great servant for Manchester City. I just feel like now's the right time for us to have a little rehaul for our defence, and that means sadly Otamendi leaving, but there'll be a little bit of demand for him, in particular from Spain, so if we get a good offer for him, my opinion, I would sell. Aymeric Garcia, obviously, I'd have to stay at Manchester City. I'd also like to see Taylor Harwood-Bellis promoted to the Manchester City first team to provide some great defensive cover for Manchester City along with Aymeric Garcia, and I would like to see more and more City youngsters given more of a chance. And if we've not been too great in the transfer window and we don't sign players, promote players instead of moving players about here, there and everywhere and hampering our plans and stuff. Use our great academy, because we've got some great young players and I'd like to see them given more of a chance. Now I'm going to move on to the midfield. Not too controversial, so I'll just get through this one quickly. Ilkay Gundogan, I think he'll stay at Manchester City. I think Rodri will be staying at Manchester City. Kevin De Bruyne obviously will be staying at Manchester City. David Silva will be leaving Man City at the end of the season. That makes me really sad to say. Like I said, I'd like to see him retire at Manchester City. There is talk of that, but he's got some great offers elsewhere, so I'd be surprised if he didn't go somewhere else, if I'm completely honest. He has still got a good couple of seasons in him, in my opinion. Bernardo Silva to stay. Phil Foden to stay, Riyad Mahrez to stay too, and Patrick Roberts was included on the Manchester City website as being as our first team player. He's out on loan at this moment in time. I'd sell him. I'd let him leave and I'd sell him. Not alone. It's time for him to go and spread his wings somewhere else, so I would sell. Now, moving on to the attack. Leroy Sane, unless he signs a new contract, go. I would sell him. 1 year left on his deal. We don't want him going for free. I reckon we can easily pick up 80 to 90, even towards £100 million for him. Go and use that. Go and does a good bit of transfer business with that. Obviously, City will be making quite a bit of a loss with a pandemic going on at this moment in time, so Leroy Sane money could be quite crucial for us, and there is a lot of demand. Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, all strongly linked with Leroy Sane, so I think his days at Manchester City, if I'm being completely honest, are numbered, and it does make me sad, but there we go. If he does sign his new deal, I do want him to stay, by the way, because I think he's a quality player, but like I said, 80 to 100 million pounds, we could easily pick up a good winger for, what, 50, 60 million pounds. There's our Leroy Sane, and we're also making a good 20 or 30 million pound profit here. I will say this, though, if we're signing a winger, I want them to be quick. I want a nice young winger, someone that's quick. I've heard Leon Bailey. I think he'd be perfect for Manchester City, but again, that's just my opinion. Raheem Sterling to stay, Gabriel Jesus to stay, and Sergio Aguero all to stay at Manchester City is me going through the squads. So my outs would be Claudio Bravo, who I'd like to see replaced with Zack Steffen. I think Scott Carson will leave Manchester City, and if Scott Carson isn't signed permanently by Manchester City, I'd like to see us promote an academy goalkeeper. Daniel Grimshaw would be one pick for me. Aro Muric, I think he'll leave Manchester City, and I don't think we'll replace him because it's a conveyor belt that we've got at the academy. If Angelino leaves, I'd like to see us sign a left back. If he doesn't, then we don't obviously need to sign a left back. That's up for a discussion. Nicolas Otamendi to leave, and I'd like to see us sign a centre back. We possibly might be looking at two if John Stones leaves. One of them will need to be a homegrown centre-back, though. However, I think City will just be looking for one top-quality centre-back this summer and maybe have a look again the summer after. If Otamendi leaves, we might be looking at two. I do not know. I'd like to know your thoughts of that. David Silva, I think we'll survive, if I'm honest, if we didn't sign a David Silva replacement. Defensive duties and defensive reinforcement has to be City's priority in this transfer window, in my opinion. And so, central midfield, I'd probably put to the back burner. I mean, worst comes to the worst, we've got the winter window. If we need to sign a central midfielder, we can even go again next summer. And like I said, this has to be, next season has to be the season where Phil Foden gets more starts and more minutes for Manchester City. David Silva is leaving. It's the position that Phil Foden plays in. He has to be getting more minutes. And if that means us not signing a central midfielder to use Phil Foden, I'm all for that. Absolutely. If we're signing a central midfielder and Foden isn't getting their minutes, I'm going to be extremely disappointed. Patrick Roberts will leave. I don't think we'll sign a replacement there. Like I said, academy conveyor belts. We obviously signed Patrick Roberts, but we've got more than an abundance of great players in our academy. And Leroy Sane, if he leaves and we don't sign a new contract, and he doesn't sign a new contract, I'd like to see us sign a quick winger. However, we could move Bernardo Silva out wide and use him permanently as a winger. So Bernardo Silva, Riyad Mahrez, and obviously Raheem Sterling to be used out wide. We have seen Jesus move out wide too. That could suffice, in my opinion, for a season, and possibly look at signing a central midfielder instead, because we'll just have Phil Foden being able to play in the top end of that attacking three. We've got Zinchenko there, but like I said, I think City will be looking for either a winger or a central midfielder. We'll sign one or the other. I don't think it will be both. I'd like to know your thoughts of that in the comments below. Terms of ins for Manchester City, so we need a backup keeper. We may need a third choice keeper. If Angelino leaves, we're going to need a left back. So there's 2 or 3 signings already. A centre back, possibly 2 centre backs. So there's 4 or 5 players. And like I said, maybe a central midfielder, maybe a winger. City, mark my words, will be busy in the summer transfer window. I reckon 4 to 5 signings for our first team squad, with some players leaving. And with City sitting so far behind Liverpool in the Premier League, I think City would see this as an ideal opportunity right now to go and do that, and that is what I think will be happening in the summer transfer window when it does eventually get underway. And I'm really looking forward to it. So, you know what I mean? It's just, our season's just delayed and stuff like that. So yeah, there we go. That's my opinion. So I'd like to know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget also, leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, so I know that you enjoyed this video. Please help support my channel by subscribing, pressing that red button, pressing the bell, and putting your push notifications on. Like I said, 5,700 subscribers ASAP. That will be much appreciated. Thank you everyone for the continued support, and also thank you for everyone for the continued watching and support of my channel. Makes me feel very warm inside. Thank you so much. It is much appreciated watching the growth of my channel. It's no better feeling in the world, and it's all thanks to you guys. Thank you very much for that. It is much appreciated. You can also find my social media links, Twitter and Instagram, in the description below and popping up on screen if you want to go and follow me on their email, also in the description below if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships, for any videos, or any general business inquiries, daily Manchester City transfer updates. I imagine with lots happening, there'll be lots of views and stuff like that, so worthwhile if you're in the business industry, hit me up for any sponsorships, for any videos, and yeah, feel free, please do let me know. Like I said, daily transfer updates, I expect them to get views, so yeah, they have done the last couple of seasons, so I imagine that'll be the same this season. So there we go, that's been my video. Always enjoyable to be able to talk about more. Like I said, let me know some video ideas in the comments below of what you'd like to see, and I'll see what I can do. I'll be back very soon in the next few days for the next football and Manchester City video. Hope you're all staying safe, staying well out there, and I'll see you all again for the next video. Don't forget, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all again very soon. So I've been JSGC. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy your Easter Sunday. Peace. Ciao for now.